My name is Yaakov Pearl. I'm originally from America and now I live in Morocco. The main messages that we're trying to convey through social media is to demonstrate that the Jewish people and Zionism are exact opposites, and that the Jewish people stand together in support of Palestine in their fight against the Zionists. It's true that we are coming to demonstrate that the actions of the Zionist state and the Jewish religion are contradictory. I mean, there are many things to describe about it, but first of all, the Jewish people are not allowed to have a state at this time in history. We are obligated to be in exile according to our Torah as a punishment and as a rehabilitation for our sins. And a rebellion against that situation of exile is a rebellion against the Almighty Himself. The Zionists have come and in the name of the Jewish people rebelled against the exile and rebelled against the nations of the world, which according to us is heresy, is kofar, and our Torah promises terrible retribution for such action. In addition, the current actions of the Zionist state to attack and to oppress and to kill and maim Palestinians, men, women, and children is of course is entirely against our religion. That we're not allowed. It's not justified. It has. I mean, even if it were, we were allowed to have a state, which is we're not allowed to have. But even if we were, it's absolutely not justified the approach that they have with the Palestinians. There's no reason why the Palestinians and the Jews cannot live peacefully together. The Zionist state makes intentionally the wars in order to justify their existence. If it wouldn't be for the wars, then nobody would need them. Nobody would think they would need them. The Jews wouldn't need them. The Americans wouldn't need them. If they didn't create wars, they would lose importance. So that is the whole reason for their wars. It has nothing to do with what they say. They're protecting themselves. They're defending themselves against the Palestinians. There's nobody to defend themselves against. The Palestinians are not interested in doing anything bad to the Jewish people. I want to clarify a little bit the difference between Zionism and the Jewish religion. Zionism is essentially a nationalism, a Jewish nationalism, which is separated entirely from the Jewish religion. Even if one finds that there are Zionists that are also religious, but the source of the Zionism does not come from our Torah. So this is a new idea for about 150 years old, maybe, or 200 years old. The idea of Zionism, that we can have a Jewish identity or a Jewish nationalism without the Jewish religion. But our Torah teaches us that the Jewish nationality and the Jewish religion are bound together. It is not possible to separate the two. And anyone who tries to separate the two, that comes out a heresy. And Jewish, they're not Jews. A Zionist, even if they come from the same lineage, but because they don't share the same beliefs as the Jewish people, that makes them not Jews. That makes them Jewish heretics, makes them kofar. They're not part of our nation. They're not part of our family. They're not part of they're not connected to us anymore. And they're only our enemies. Instead, they are our oppressors and our enemies. The Jewish religion is a religion to worship the Almighty God and to learn His ways and to try to fulfill His commandments. And one of the major precepts of the Jewish religion is that we are now obligated to be in exile as a punishment and a rehabilitation for our sins, and to rebel against the exile, rebel against our subservience and to the nations of the world, is to rebel against the Almighty Himself, and it comes with it terrible punishments. And so, in short, I want to explain that Judaism and Zionism are exact opposites. The Jewish community in Morocco, the best thing that can be brought to help with the resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian problem is that as a demonstration that Jews and Muslims have lived together for over 1,000 years in peace and harmony without problem. And there's no reason to think that and that was also the situation in Palestine before the Zionists came. The Muslims and the Jews lived peacefully there. It's only the Zionists that create a problem, and the only solution to the problem is to remove the Zionists and the Zionism. Jews and Muslims can live together if the Palestinians would like to allow Jews to live in their country. They are allowed. If they don't want, they don't have to. It's not for us in our exile to dictate where we should live and who should let us live there. The Almighty will make it that there will be some place for us to be in the world where we can serve Him and we can perform our mitzvahs, our fareda, and that's what our Torah teaches us, how we're supposed to look at things. Torah requires today of the Jewish people worldwide to support Palestine, to support the oppressed, and to accept upon ourselves the exile that the Almighty demands of us. That's the solution to the problems. There's no other way to find a solution for whatever problems there are between Jews and non-Jews anywhere in the world, except for the Jewish people to accept the exile and to humble themselves and live peacefully wherever we find ourselves. I personally want to thank the Palestinian people for and I know they don't want to suffer, and then I don't want them to suffer either. But I want them to know that their suffering is for the whole world. The whole world is protected from the spread of Zionism through their suffering. The fact that they resist the expulsion and they resist the oppression of the Zionists makes it so that other people don't have to do the same thing. Now, I'm not saying that the Palestinians have to do that. They can do what they want. But I personally want to thank them, and I think there are many people in the world that also want to thank them that they are our first line of defense against the Zionists and their evil ways and their evil policies.
قبل المغادرة لا تنسوا الاشتراك في قناة العمق المغربي وتفعيل الجرس ليصلكم كل جديد، ولا تنسوا مشاركة الفيديو والضغط على زر الإعجاب.